This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, September the 6th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, deep job cuts and a hike in bus fares are on the cards for the beleaguered state-run public transport agency, according to Chairman of the Transport Board, Gregory Nichols, in a memo sent via email to General Manager Felisa Sue and copied to two other company officials. Now, in the email dated August 11th, 2018, a copy of which was obtained by Barbados Today, it was evident that the International Monetary Fund had demanded a leaner transport agency and that subsidies to the board would come to an end. It was not immediately clear if the email was part of a thread, but its subject line, Costs of Proposed Organizational Restructure, Transport Board, along with some of its content, suggested that it was. Nichols told Sue he had discussed the matter with Prime Minister Mia Mottley, but he did not say how Mottley felt about the proposed cuts and bus fare rise. It's a case of two different tales along the south coast these days, with operators between Worthing and Hastings Christchurch reporting a major ease in the sewage crisis, while businesses along Worthing Beach are now fuming over the impact of the awful stench. When Barbados Today visited the area yesterday, it was greeted by a number of relieved store owners who said the worst was now seemingly behind them after suffering major financial loss as a result of having to close their doors at the height of the crisis, which saw effluent bubbling up in the streets on an almost daily basis for well over a year. But not all are smelling like roses. When Barbados Today visited Worthing Beach, the smell of effluent was not pervasive, but the complaints from small operators fuming over the indefinite closure of the beach certainly were. The closure has come as a direct result of the decision by the authorities to divert the effluent through Graham Hall Swamp and out into the sea. Some 219 Barbadian educators have so far been trained to master a new method of dealing with violent and aggressive students in schools. This was revealed by Regional Director of Impact Justice Project, Professor Velma Newton, on the sidelines of a training workshop for the teaching staff of the St. George Secondary School on restorative practices. The 65 teachers benefited from the expertise of two trained local presenters, that's Senior Education Officer Patricia Warner and Guidance Counselor Julia Edie. Professor Newton told Barbados Today that overall 867 educators have been trained across the region.
Because we firmly believe that restorative practices, the principles, if applied in schools, can help to curb violence. In fact, these principles are being widely used throughout the world, and results are quite positive. It is only one mechanism, but we have to try whatever we can, because there's rising violence in schools throughout the world, and this restorative practices have been used extensively.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
BIT's Central Bank Meets Blockchain Conference is the only conference in the world that brings together regulators, governments, and private entities to discuss how they might work together using blockchain to make a positive impact on the lives of the people in the Caribbean.
We are so proud to host this forum, which allows for constructive dialogue and engagement because it recognizes the transformative potential of distributed ledger technology and the work that BIT is doing in the region.
Blockchain technology has the power to address the demand for easier and real-time KYC solutions while improving overall KYC standards. With the advent of digital currency, these AML solutions can strengthen compliance like never before.
We have an excellent lineup of speakers, including our keynote speaker, the Honorable Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Alden McLaughlin, Premier of the Cayman Islands, Dr. Jack Meaning, economist from the Bank of England, Therese Turner-Jones, the General Manager for the Caribbean Division of the IDB, and many more noteworthy speakers who you don't want to miss.
The Inter-American Development Bank supports this event and is our platinum sponsor. We're so grateful to them for their support and acknowledgement of our work.
We hope you can join us on September the 18th, 2018 at the Hilton Barbados Resort to hear what leaders in the region and in the blockchain space have to say about the role of blockchain technology in promoting social inclusion financial empowerment and economic growth for this and future generations. See you there.
We're back with news from the region now. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says if the decision to shut down refinery operations at Petrotrin costs him his job as Prime Minister, then so be it. Rowley says it's the entire country which is at risk due to Petrotrin's debt, and his government is simply doing what has to be done.
I have absolutely no fear of losing this job. The only fear that I have is the fear of, if we don't do this, what will be the future of the children of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a job that I do because I have found myself in this situation, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I'm not in love with it. But if it comes to that this is going to cause me to lose this job of Prime Minister, I will do so and thank you very sincerely for the opportunity you gave me. But what has to be done has to be done.
And on the international scene, an unnamed senior Trump official has said members of the administration are working to frustrate parts of the president's agenda to protect the country from his worst inclinations. In a New York Times editorial, the author said what it called President Trump's immorality and impulsiveness had led to ill-informed and reckless decisions. Trump quickly hit back, labeling the anonymous writer gutless and the newspaper as phony.
When you tell me about some anonymous source within the administration, probably who's failing and probably here for all the wrong reasons, no. And the New York Times is failing. If I weren't here, I believe the New York Times probably wouldn't even exist. And someday, and someday when I'm not president, which hopefully will be in about 6.5 years from now, the New York Times and CNN and all of these phony media outlets will be out of business, folks. They'll be out of business because there'll be nothing to write and there'll be nothing of interest. So nobody has done what this administration has done. And I agree, it's different from an agenda which is much different than ours, and it's certainly not your agenda, that I can tell you.
Thank you.
It's about open borders. It's about letting people flee into our country. It's about a disaster and crime for our country. So they don't like Donald Trump.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now, you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.